Aloha and welcome to the Murph's Place 808 for the Level Golf Podcast. I am your host, Murph. What is going on, people? I hope everybody is having a great week this week. It's Monday. It's the beginning of the week. I hope everybody has a great one. It's been pretty nice here. The weather's been good. It's kind of gearing up for a couple of tournaments that are coming up. I'll tell you, I kind of want to play in this Manoa Cup, but I do not want to walk OCC, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. But anyhow, we had a lot of golf this past week. We'll start off with the Fia Sundays at Wanalua Golf Club. And so I know I told you guys last week that Joe P. was playing in the Francis Brown 4-ball tournament this past weekend, so he was not going to be there for the Fia tournament. And, you know, I was telling Chris and a couple of the other guys, and I said this in front of Joe while he was there last week, that, hey, Joe's not going to be here. The belt's up for grabs. And then Chris said, hey, don't forget, we got to have 4 people. And I said, I will make some phone calls. If we do not have 4 people here to play on Sunday, I will be making phone calls to get people there. And so Saturday night rolls around. And that Saturday, they played the Francis Brown 4-ball, Joe and his partner. And so I get this text. We get this text on the group text because all of us on this group text. And Joe is like, matter of fact, I'm going to pull it up and just read it to you so you know exactly what he said. So Joe sends a text and says, I'm in tomorrow. We had a playoff, but we left, so the other group got in. I was sleeping at home, LOL. And so him and his partner got into a playoff. Now, granted, they were the first group out for the first tee time out. And so they were going to have to, after they finished, they would have to wait until everybody finished to find out if they were in a playoff or not. So Joe went home. And I don't know, but I'm guessing that he maybe would have went back, but he apparently fell asleep at home. And so they got into a playoff, and they didn't show up, so the other team won. Now, I call a little suspect here. I mean, if you're playing in the Francis Brown 4-ball tournament and you have a chance to qualify and get in, I don't think you miss that. I'm not missing it just to go play the Fia and to keep my belt. But you know, Joe ends up showing up and playing in the Fia. And so he's playing good. I'm playing good. Chris is playing good. I mean, we're all right there. We're all real close to each other. And the finishing scores ended up being Joe shot 73, Chris shot 74, and I shot 75. Now, Joe completely lucked out. If you're familiar with hole number 18 at Wanalua, it's a par 4. There's out of bounds left. The parking lot is on the left. And right of the fairway, you got Hazard. There's a creek that runs down through there. So Joe hits his drive, and the ball is going left, heading to OB. And so me and Chris are like, yeah, now we got a chance. And his ball hits, bounces in the parking lot, and keeps bouncing in the parking lot. Now, the parking lot is kind of sloped down towards the fairway a little bit. So his ball bounces, and then rolls back into the fairway down towards the creek that's down there. And we're like, you got to be kidding me. He's in play. So he ended up winning, shot 73. We were close. Chris was close. I was close, but no cigar. Joe retains the Fia belt again for another week. But we're getting closer. Me and Chris are starting to play a little bit better. Joe P's kind of slipping a little bit, and we're getting closer. So I feel it's coming. Either myself or Chris is going to beat him. But we just have to keep plugging on. Anyhow, congrats to Joe. He retains the Fia belt. Beach Boys. Today we played Leilehua Golf Club. It was a holiday today. And so on any of the holidays, we try to play the military courses because obviously they don't have a holiday rate. We pay the same rate that we normally pay when we play there. So we set it up for Leilehua. We had 5 tee times because we knew we'd have a lot of people. And it was funny. We only had 11 members show up to play. We got a couple of members that are injured. One's out of town. So we only had 11 members show up, but we had 8 guests. People brought guests to play. So we had 8 guests playing today. A couple of them are candidates. They're thinking about joining. And so obviously they're turning in their scorecards to me to give them a handicap if they decide to join. And that's another thing. If you guys want to play, if you're local here, or even if you're not local, if you come to Hawaii and you just hit me up on the website, beachboysgolfclub.org, you send me a message telling me, hey, Murph, I'm coming into town. I want to play with you guys on a Monday. I'll get back with you and I'll give you where we're playing at, or you can look on I don't have the schedule on the website right now. But if you text me, or if you leave me a message on the website, then I'll get back in touch with you and let you know where we're going to be playing at and what time, and get you set in to come in and play. One advantage to playing with us if you're from out of town is you don't pay the tourist rate to play. You end up playing whatever our club rate is to play it. It's like $50-some. If you're coming from out of town, depending on what course we're playing, you're going to pay over $100 to play. So if you want to come and play with the club while you're in town here in Hawaii on Oahu, let me know and we'll get you set up to come out and play with us. But if you're local and you want to join, same thing. Send me a message on there that you want to join, and we'll get you set up to come out and get signed up and play and start playing with us on Mondays. You don't have to play every Monday. You can pick out which ones you want to play and which ones you don't. There's no, there's a bunch of different things that we do that you earn points for showing up. And then at the end of the year, whoever has the most points, not only from showing up, but from shooting net par or below, you get points for that also. But whoever has the most points, you get paid. There's prize money to be won. And we pay out like 10 places or something like that. So, but if you're interested in joining, like I said, just go to the website, beachboysgolfclub.org, and send me a message and we'll get you shined up. I didn't play too bad today. I ended up shooting 78, 37 on the front, and then 41 on the back. I had a couple of hiccups, but the course was in pretty good shape. It was it's weird. Leilahua's got different kind of I don't want to say mud or clay. It's kind of a different type of fairway. So I had a couple of shots that I hit kind of fat, and it was kind of bad. So, but it was good enough to beat Troy. So I took money from Troy, and that was a good day. And Dan, I was able to finally take $5 off of Dan or whatever. So it was a good day. Anyhow, so that's the Beach Boys. Let's take a short break, and we'll be right back. All right. Welcome back, everybody. So PGA news. We just had the Charles Schwab Challenge tournament played at Colonial Country Club this past weekend. Sam Burns is your winner in a playoff against Scotty Scheffler. Here's something I don't know. They kind of portray it as Sam Burns came from 7 back. Yes, he was 7 back at the beginning of the round. And he ends up finishing at 9 under. Scotty Scheffler, and there was 4 other guys tied at 10 under. Harold Varner, Scotty Scheffler, Stallings, I can't remember who else. But they were all tied at 10 under, and eventually they all did something. Varner hit one in the water. I mean, it was bad. So Scotty Scheffler ended up being able to finish at 9 under for the tournament and got into a playoff with Sam Burns. And on the very first playoff hole, they played 18 over again. Sam Burns hit his shot to the fringe and drained a 38-foot putt for birdie. And then Scotty missed his birdie putt. So Sam Burns wins in the playoff. I kind of don't agree with how they kind of, I don't know. It's not like Sam Burns he'd finished his round. He had a great round. Don't get me wrong. He shot 9 under 65. And he had a great round, but he was in the clubhouse for like 2 hours before those guys finished and they got into the playoff. But when you word it like Sam Burns comes from 7 behind to win, he was in. Scotty Scheffler lost the tournament. You know, it wasn't like Sam Burns. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to downplay what he did. That was a great round, 9 under 65. But, you know, if Scotty Scheffler would have just parred out, he would have won the tournament outright. So, but congrats to Sam Burns. It was a great victory. He had a great round on Sunday, which put him in a position to get into a playoff and win the tournament. So congratulations to him. Next up is the Memorial Golf Tournament at Muirville Village Golf Club. That's in Dublin, Ohio, near my hometown. And me and my friends used to go to that tournament all the time. It's a great tournament. It's a great course. A lot of the professionals really like that course. Obviously, Jack Nicklaus designed. It's his course, and so they're going to have that tournament coming up this weekend. The power rankings for that tournament, listed number 1 is Jon Rahm. Now, if you remember, last year Jon Rahm was leading that tournament and tested positive for COVID and had to withdraw from the tournament. So he's got a little revenge type thing coming, like, you know, hey, I was leading this tournament last year. I ended up getting COVID and had to get out of the tournament. So number 2, they got Rory McIlroy. Now, Rory, he's had 4 top 10s among 6 top 20s in his last 10 times. So he's playing really good golf. And if you ask me, he's my favorite. I want Rory to win. But listed number 3, and you can't count this guy out, Patrick Cantlay. He's a 2-time winner and the defending champion of this tournament. So you cannot count that guy out. He's always in there. But my pick, I'm going with Rory. He's been playing really good golf lately, and I think he's going to end up winning it. So good luck to Rory this weekend. And I wish I was back in Ohio so I could watch that tournament, go and watch that tournament. We've had a lot of fun at that tournament. The one year my buddy, his company rented a house, and it was right on the course. You walk out the back into the backyard. They had a tent set up and tables and stuff like that, but you just walk out the gate onto the course, and you're right there. I can't remember the hole, but you're at the green of one hole and the tee box of the other. So you could just sit there all day and watch those guys finish on that one hole and then tee off on the next one. It was a great time. So Korn Ferry Tour. We had the NV5 Invitational played in Glenville, Illinois. Brent Grant, we had the Brent Grant watch. He did not play in this tournament. I don't know why, but he did not play. And also, you know, I brought this guy's name up, and we're kind of watching him a little bit too, is Jared Sawada, another local guy here from Hawaii. He played in that tournament. He shot 1 under and missed the cut. He shot 71-70 and missed the cut by 3 strokes. 4 under was the cut for that. So keep it up, Jared. Keep playing. Keep pushing. Brent, next up we have the REX Hospital Open. That's June 2nd through the 5th, being played in Raleigh, North Carolina. And Brett is in the field for this event. So hopefully Brett will do well and end up, staying in that top 25. We need him in that top 25 to get his PGA Tour card so he can get out on tour. So good luck to Brent, and we'll be watching. So let's take another short break, and we'll be right back. After releasing a song every single week last year, Corey Gossett is dropping an album that sums up everything you may have missed. Boy Meets World is available on February 4th. Until then, go listen to the new album from C Money Baby, Don't Forget the Baby, which includes features from Ohio's best upcoming artists Doobie and Yellow Pain. In 2022, Smart Boy Studios is leveling up their merch game. The new store, shop.smartboystudios.com, has some new products and designs. They will be dropping new designs and items every season this year. Follow at Smart Boy Studios on social media to participate in monthly merch giveaways and visit the website to get your merch now. As always, head to www.smartboystudios.com to stay up to date on new music, new videos, new merch, and any upcoming events. All right, welcome back, everybody. So today at Beach Boys, I want to bring this up today also. So today at Beach Boys, we had a couple of rules issues come up, and just kind of a reminder. Had one of the players hit his ball near an OB stake, and if you remember, you cannot move an out of bounds stake to make your swing. You're not allowed to move the OB stake. You can move if it's a penalty area stake, a red or yellow stake. You are able to move those out of your swing path, or if it's a yardage marker, like there's a pole in the middle of the fairway, your ball's behind it or in front of it, and you can't swing. You're able to take that out and move it. But out of bounds stakes, you are not allowed to move. Just a reminder for those of you that don't know that rule or kind of get them confused a little bit with the penalty area stakes. That was one issue we had today. Another one was a player hit his ball and it was on the fringe. Another player was on that line of his ball, but behind him. And one player asked him if he wanted him to mark his ball. And the other player said, no, you don't need to mark it. And then the original player was like, oh, shoot, I was hoping I'd get to mark it, because he thought if he marked it, he would be able to clean it off because it had mud on it. And you're not allowed to do that. If your ball is in line of play of somebody and they ask you to move it, to mark it, you can mark it, but you have to pick it up. And the best thing to do so you don't accidentally clean it, don't put it in your pocket, don't put it in your towel. All you do is you pick the ball up and you move it out of the way and set it. What I do is I set it right on the ground. I don't, that way I'm not going to accidentally clean it. I'm not going to put it in my pocket where it's going to get, rubbed clean or whatever. I just pick it up and put it off to the side, and then pick it up and put it back exactly where it was at. You are not allowed to clean your ball. Now, if you're, say you're on a cart path, you're taking relief from a cart path, you are allowed to clean your ball from that. Or if you're taking relief from a penalty area, your ball's in a penalty area, or you're taking an unplayable lie, you are allowed to clean your ball from that. But you're not allowed to just when it's in the line of play of somebody, you're not allowed to just pick it up and clean it. If you're on the green, yes, obviously you can. But if you're off the green, on the fringe, in the fairway, you're not allowed to clean it. So there are a couple of exceptions. I mean, the tournament can make a local rule. Like I've played in tournaments where it's been really wet, it rained all night or whatever, and they're playing lift, clean, and place, meaning you can mark your ball, lift it, clean it off, and then place it back down where it was at. Have played in tournaments like that, but that's a local rule. Normally, you're not allowed to do that. The committee has to make that rule. So just a friendly reminder, like I said, we had a couple of rules issues and stuff like that today. So I just kind of want to remind everybody on those two things. If you guys have any questions or topics you want to ask me or want me to talk about, please shoot me an email at murphsplace808@gmail.com, and we'll get those taken care of. I want to thank everybody that supports the podcast. I really appreciate that. It helps me keep putting out content to you guys. I also want to remind everybody, if you'd like to support the podcast, there's a link that you could click on to do that. I also want to thank everybody for listening, taking time out of your busy schedules to listen to me. Thank you, Steve, for constantly staying on me to make sure I get a new podcast out so you can go to sleep at night. That's my buddy Steve. He I always joke with him. He says he always falls to sleep to my podcast, and I'm like, well, I'm that boring. You guys have heard me say that before. So no, but thanks, Steve, for staying on me about that. I hope everybody is staying safe. If you guys, like I said, want to talk about anything or want me to talk about anything, please shoot me an email and we'll get it taken care of. And I hope you guys are staying safe and playing golf. If you guys are playing golf, hit them straight, hit them long, but don't hit them often. Aloha, everybody.